Thank you for tuning in to Music Marvels with Achickwitbeatz and Breezy Gipson. We are thrilled and delighted to bring this week's episode to you. Of course, it's full of music industry news, beats by yours truly, and we have a special guest. Do you want to tell them who we finally got on the show?
Yes. I mean, I am just totally hyped. I'm really excited. This young man, he has been just showing out, and he's hailing from Brazil, Sao Paulo, Brazil, and he's migrated to different parts of the world. Oh, I'm just excited. That's the one and only Chocolate Costa. Chocolate Costa. Yeah.
Yes, so absolutely a delight. Thrilled to have him on and to have him share his story with us. And yeah, just so much goodness waiting for us through this episode. So without any further ado, how about we get to it?
Okay, let's do it. Let's do it to it with the do it to it flute. Oh, yeah.
All right, let's go.
Okay.
We're back with music industry news. First off, a record label has wiped the AI generated Eminem rapping about cats video from the internet. So, of course, that label is Universal Music Publishing Group. So, they actually issued a DMCA takedown notice against YouTuber Grande, and that's with two Y's, saying that the video infringed on its copyright. So typically, when something like that happens, copyright holders will just kind of opt to make content ID claims, which still leaves the video up, but just redirects the ad revenue to the actual copyright owner instead of the uploader. So in this case, they just wanted it completely off. So, of course, the video was removed. And, he was kind of surprised, thinking that they just probably want some of the revenue instead of making him take it down. But part of that could be because copyright laws allow for parody works as long as they're transformative and a few other factors. But it has to consider how the parody might affect the market for the original work. And so if you look at it like that with those laws, you could definitely understand why Universal Music Publishing Group might want to take it down, because if, this kind of caught on and you start hearing in more places, there are some people who might not realize that it was AI generated. Although I do believe most Eminem fans would know that. But, there are some people that might not be able to tell. John Oliver on his show had actually done a little segment of it, and that's how I was able to catch it. But which that is actually still available on YouTube, just in case you're curious. But, it's a little subpar, but it did sound pretty close to Eminem. So something out there like that could actually damage his real reputation. And so it makes sense that Universal Music made the move that they did. It's just kind of showing what we've been talking about with the AI technology in music. There's a lot of nuances and factors that need to be considered before it's just widely adopted. So we'll kind of see how this plays out. What are your thoughts on that?
Man, they cracked into the scene. They really did just crack into the scene, and it beat the radar, and beat the sonar and everything, and next thing you know, boom, it's there. Okay, so that in itself is a strange happenstance, but so I gotta sit back and watch. I gotta sit back and absorb, because something's telling me that this is just the first step to this whole episode, and there may be more steps to come on this. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm mystified.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there. I believe that there are going to be many more stories unfolding regarding this. Matter of fact, our next news story kind of touches on it a little bit. So the AI music app Moises has reached 30 million registers after raising $10.25 million. And so this particular AI-powered app lets musicians separate their tracks into stems. It can detect chords, it can shift tempo or pitch without changing other musical parameters. And it also lets people master their audio to add like a little extra polish and some other stuff. So the difference with them, though, is Moises actually licenses the stems that train its models to honor the rights and needs of music makers, and that's a quote, by supporting them financially and creatively. So they kind of understand how this should be done. And so kudos to them for actually making sure that people are compensated if they're using them as models to be able to make this app function the way that it does. I've kind of played around in Moises myself, and it does offer quite a bit, even just at the free level. So not even, mentioning some of the paid features that I listed a little bit ago. But yeah, it's definitely something to watch, as all this new technology is coming forward or growing. We're seeing more apps and companies adopt this. And so, yeah, it's definitely something to keep an eye on. But like I said, at least kudos to them for paying for what's feeding the system.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa. How about that? Whoa. I'm talking about this is getting to such an incredulous level, and it's just starting. Okay. If this had been in full tilt ongoing, but no, this is just starting, and it's at such a incredulous level. Hey, we got to keep our magnifying glasses out. And binoculars. We got to watch this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah,
yeah.
there's definitely going to be a lot more to come. All right, and speaking of some new stuff, Nelly has announced a moonshine brand called Moshine. It's his latest convention-breaking creative endeavor because we know he'll step out from the norms to do something different and kind of keep people talking about him. So, this particular moonshine called Moshine is inspired by his love of hip hop and country music, and so it blends the Southern vibes and heartland hustle that unites his two worlds while giving a nod to his hometown, of course, St. Louis, Missouri. So Moshine, and that's how it all comes together. So kudos to him on making those moves. There's different flavors and whatnot. And I know I'd like to get my hands on some Moshine so I can actually give you guys my honest opinion about it. So hint, hint, anybody out there listening, I wouldn't mind taking some, but
Yeah,
yeah, so kudos to
yeah.
Nelly for that.
I know, kudos, and as we have maintained from day one, for the average person, the neophyte, the music neophyte, okay, the person who really has a desire to become involved with music, on it could be on a number of different levels. Think big, because see, when you have a great idea and you let it get stifled, you never know what that idea could be. Okay. Now, so in other words, everybody's got a chance. Everybody's got an opportunity. So you come up with something that you think is, could be earth changing. It very well may be. So push it. Okay.
Right.
Instead of laying back and letting others go forward with their own, push yours as well, because you never know where you'll end up.
Exactly. And you know what? That's a perfect segue into the next story. So,
okay.
Yeah, Robert Kinkle has a multiplier plan that he thinks will improve the way that artists are paid for music streaming. And so basically, the suggestion that he's kind of thrown out there, and hopefully it can get adopted, but he's saying that if a subscriber comes to a digital service provider or platform and starts the session with an artist, then that artist should get multipliers on their views for bringing listeners into the platform. So, an example is, let's say you decide that you want to go to Spotify and listen to Achickwitbeatz. If that's what brought you to Spotify, if you stay on the platform and start listening to other people that the algorithm recommends to you or puts in your feed, or however you want to word that, then that means that I'd get a bonus for bringing people to the platform and keeping them there. And so that would be that would be a huge move for independent artists all over. To think, if somebody's at your live show and then they decide to go listen to you, and then maybe they end up listening to, I don't know, Pink, Eminem, or somebody like that after that, they're not the only ones who'll get paid because you're the one that brought the fans there in the first place. So, I mean, it might be some work to kind of get this policy adopted, because we already know a lot of the streaming platforms don't really want to pay that much as is. But I mean, I think that it's a wonderful idea and something that should be incorporated, because we've already determined that the pro rata system is just busted. We need to do away with that. So even if the multiplier idea doesn't get adopted right away, it's definitely something to strive for, wouldn't you say?
Oh man, I'm all in on that, 10,000%. I mean, that's really, in my opinion. Oh yeah. I mean, I think that should catch on like wildfire. If the powers that be, let it, come to fruition. And
Right.
that's strong. That's strong.
Right. And it started from an idea. So what if he'd have just kept that idea to himself? But now the wheels are in motion. So yeah, we'll see what happens, and hopefully it'll be some good news.
Yeah, hopefully. Oh, yeah.
All right, and just in case you haven't heard, Questlove is auctioning some of his 200,000 vinyl records for a good cause. So the proceeds from the Whatnot auction will go to the Future of Food Entrepreneurship Program at the Food Education Fund. First of all, that's a lot of vinyl, and it's really cool that he was willing to part with some of that for some good causes. And so that is kind of something to be aware of, because, if anybody has been kind of following some of the news and seeing that that story was actually trending for a bit. And so, not saying that he was doing it for publicity, but as an independent artist, doing something like that could actually draw some more attention to you and help somebody else in the process. So, hey, it might not be a bad idea to take a page from his book and, help somebody else and yourself at the same time.
Yeah, you know what? Let me slow this thing down a minute. Let me slow this thing down and draw some attention to you. Let's bring some attention to you for actually bringing forth these types of news spots to educate the listeners with. And so what I'm saying is, if not for you, Achickwitbeatz, bringing forth these types of news stories and news items to the masses, a lot of this would get swept under the rug or overlooked or never even just unheard of in a lot of different circles. So, I want to zero in on you because you are enhancing the knowledge and awareness of a lot of folks, whether they're musicians, indie artists, or not. Okay, the average listener can actually enhance their awareness of these music-related topics just because you're bringing forth these kinds of items. Okay, a lot of other shows that are out there, they don't do that. Okay, and you're the one taking the time to dig, pick out, choose, bring forth these types of items that can. So by the time the show is over, the listener's enriched. And that listener can go to the next person and say, "Hey, did you hear about this or whatever?" And they're like, "What? No, I didn't hear. What? Where'd you find that from?" Well, Achickwitbeatz was talking about. Oh, you see what I'm saying? So, we want to keep you in that spotlight for bringing not just today, not just last week, not just last month, but see, you got that's your part of your rep. That's part of your rep right now. Is helping to make sure that people get educated with a lot of either business related music entity info or knowledge related entity. I mean, I can go on and on and on. But so thanks to you for doing what you do.
Thank you. I mean, that's the goal. The information's out there. Doesn't do me any good to just hold on to it and not share it. So yeah, I'm very happy to hear that, and I hope that people find this helpful.
Yeah, and you do it in a unique way. So yeah, 10,000 shouts out to you for what you're doing with the news items, the music industry news related items. Oh yeah.
Thank you. All right, and all right, this story, man. So there's a guy who made 1.2 million pounds from fake vinyl records, and this was caught by a fan of the Clash. And so trading standards officers investigated Mr. Richard Hutter and found that he had been selling thousands of counterfeit records from bands ranging all the way from the Beatles to Pink Floyd, Nirvana, and Amy Winehouse, and others for 6 years. So I mean, that's a long time to be counterfeiting, and that's a lot of money being made. And they said, like, on average, he was selling them for about $25-$35 a pop. And so he was given a suspended jail sentence in order to do 250 hours of unpaid work and told to wear a tag for 3 months. So, he might have felt like he was kind of getting away with something, but apparently this particular Clash fan, when he had got the record from him, listened to it and thought, man, this is horrible quality. And he said something, and then, yeah, that that investigation uncovered how much dirt this guy had actually been doing. So, just kind of a heads up, be careful where you're getting your vinyl from. It's not always people with good intentions, so yeah, just something to be aware of. You gotta be careful.
Man, you remember there was a phrase that we said a long time ago: inspect what you expect.
Yeah,
there we go. inspect what you expect. So when you see, even if it's vinyl, you still got to inspect that joint.
Right.
You got to inspect that joint and make sure that it's authentic or not.
Yeah. So shout out to that Clash fan that was enough of an audiophile to know something wasn't right.
Mm. Oh,
Yeah.
oh.
And speaking of faking the funk, Motley Crue apparently fake plays live, according to their guitarist Mick Mars. So this was a Prophet's participation suit that he had put against the band, where he actually acknowledged this. And apparently, at some point in another interview, he kind of alluded to that too. So he says that they pre-record some of their vocals for the tour and kind of let that do some of the work. So, man, I could see being in the business for a long time, maybe not necessarily having the energy to bring it all the time, but I mean, fans can listen to recordings at home. If they paid to see you, then you probably should actually be performing, which, and just to kind of segue a little bit or, kind of go slightly off topic, same thing if you rap your music at shows. You can have a performance track that has a little bit of the background, your ad libs, or your hook, but you can't, do not rap directly over your vocals. I mean, it's horrible for the audience to listen to. Just make sure that you know your stuff before you go out there. Make sure that you're prepared. So, yeah, if people pay their money to see you, don't fake the funk. Bring them the real deal. Yeah.
Point of contention. Point of contention from Achickwitbeatz.
Yes. All right, and Ticketmaster Mexico has decided to compensate fans over the Bad Bunny concert that went bad, as we shared with you recently. I believe it was probably about a month or two ago when we actually covered it on the news. But just in case you weren't aware, Ticketmaster Mexico is owned by Live Nation, just like Ticketmaster. They avoided fines by providing the full refunds and additional money to the 2,155 people that were affected by the ticketing platform issues. So the compensation actually totaled 20% of the price consumers had paid to purchase their tickets. So, hopefully that'll kind of ease some of the headache that caused. And, a smart move by Ticketmaster, because it was the right thing to do. They weren't actually managing the site the way that they should have been. I mean, we've seen that. The story keeps popping up with different artists that have experienced that with, fans who wanted to see them, but, either ended up with counterfeit tickets or, overpriced tickets and all this other stuff going on. So, hopefully they'll kind of get their stuff together, but at least those people were compensated.
The days of just pure, plain and simple, those days are gone now. There's just too much going on.
But yeah. Well, this might be part of that with a lot going on, but this is kind of in a good way if you look at it, because this means other opportunities and we can start seeing this happen with maybe other festivals. But YouTube has announced expanded Coachella coverage, including merch sales on the live stream. So the enhanced coverage is going to include live video feeds from all 6 of the festival stages during both weekends of the festival. And in between sets, viewers can see on-the-ground coverage of art, artists, installations, behind-the-scenes shorts, moments, and more. And so YouTube is also partnering with Golden Voice, who actually puts on Coachella, to drop exclusive merch from over a dozen artists that are appearing at the festival. And then in addition to the custom Coachella stuff, their other merch will be available to purchase directly on the live stream through YouTube Shorts on Coachella's channel and also through YouTube Shopping. So, I mean, this is really an immersive experience. And this is kind of one of those things, like when I read about it, not that this had occurred to me before, but it made so much sense. It's just like, well, why haven't we been doing this already? And so, if you just kind of look at the way that they've integrated all these things together, definitely something that the indie artists can kind of mirror, possibly on a smaller scale within their community, because we've been talking about ever since the pandemic about how live events are going to be more of a hybrid now. And so, you've got the people who want to come out, but then you got the people who feel more comfortable watching from their sofa. So, yeah, these are definitely some steps to kind of pay attention to or check out if you're one of the people who, doesn't plan on going to Coachella, but you still want to see what's happening. So, I mean, technology can be awesome. I know we talked about the scary side of it when we were talking about AI earlier, but yeah, this is just a tremendous move that I think we're probably going to see adopted on a wider scale and maybe even a smaller scale across all the individual communities.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's got its pluses and minuses, but I think, more of the pluses, individual choice allows folks to still stay in the groove.
Yes.
Okay, so whether getting in their car and going down there, or whether, like you say, from the comfort of their own spot. So, I can't disagree with the opportunity to choose which way you want to inhale your music.
Yeah. I love it. Yeah. All right, and Cobalt has posted a $21.9 million operating profit in their fiscal 2022. And so that's up 71% from the previous fiscal year. So that's huge. Their operating profit nearly doubled that year. And so they're at, with the 21.9 million, making it the second straight fiscal year profitability. And I mean, if you've been paying attention to the economy, you know that that's no easy feat at all. So what does that tell you? People are still paying for music. There's still money to be made in it. And on top of that, part of their profitability is they spent 212 million on acquiring music publishing in the same year. So with them investing that money in music publishing and then them getting, this kind of return back, that's a huge deal. And so, yeah, that's letting you know, get your publishing in a row, get your publishing in a row. We keep hearing this over and over again in these studies. I mean, in these stories that come up. And so it's just something that more artists need to grasp, because we keep hearing about how, so many of the songs that were submitted didn't get any plays and all that. That's from not having all your information down. So if they don't know where to send it, how can they send you the money? So yeah, these stories just stress how important it is to make sure that you have all the details set for your music, so that way you can be compensated for your hard work.
Get your publishing in a row. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I mean, that sinks deep and can be shared easily. Okay, from one to another.
Yeah. All right, we're going to take a quick pause for the cause, and then we'll be back with our special guest.
Oh, yes. The one and only Chocolate Costa. Very talented. Oh, my gosh. Very skilled. Bassist, drummer. Oh, man, just a complete musician. Yeah, in the spot right here. Coming up.
Hey fam, this is Breezy Gipson from the Breeze team. How would you like to see an online platform that brings you people who've already indicated that they're interested in your particular type of business? Whether it's your music you're selling, hip-hop clothing, you got a restaurant or a cafe, or if you're an entrepreneur or agent for a business. Visit me at breeze2cheese.com. That's using the number 2, breeze2cheese.com, or click my bio link on my Instagram profile to see a live demo of how this can help you get more customers and make more money.
Hey, this is Achickwitbeatz. I am a multi-genre music producer and strategist to indie artists and labels. Visit my website, achickwitbeatz.com, for resources for artists and instrumentals available in various genres for songs, vlogs, blogs, podcasts, themes, TV, film, commercials, and more. Once again, that's achickwitbeatz.com, ACHICKWITBEATZ. Let's make something happen.
Hey, listeners, back one more time with a stellar artist today. And I'm happy. I'm bouncing off the walls. I got a cheese grin going on because with us today is a gentleman, a real gentleman he's very deep in his work. He's deep in his love for music. Okay. And it's not just the playing of the music or the hearing of the music. It's music as a body, the whole thing from A to Z. Okay. And so I'm not going to steal his thunder because he's got a lot to talk about. But though, here we go with the one and only Chocolate Costa. How you doing today, sir?
I'm good, man. How you doing today, man?
Oh, I'm doing just marvelous now, man.
Thanks. Yes, sir. I'm so happy to be here, man. Thank you for the invitation to be here. And I'm so excited to talk about music.
Yeah, yes. Okay, so speaking of that, let's now Achickwitbeatz and I, we know about you, but our listeners, let's educate our listeners about you. Can you share with our listeners a little bit about way back in the beginning, what led you, what attracted you, what pulled you in to the world of music, and what were you getting out of it way back a long time ago?
Yeah, I grew up in Brazil. I born in Brazil in São Paulo. It's a little city called Jacareí. Jacareí, it's a small city inside São Paulo in Brazil. And we used to go in the church, and when I was very young, I was to go in the church with my grandma. And then we started playing. I remember. I think I was 6 years old. I started to play drums in the church, learning, and they started putting me on the schedule to play on the service. And then I was excited because I was the young one, in the middle of the big guys. And I was to play drums on that time and learning. And then I started playing bass and guitar, stuff like that, when I was 11 years old. And so I moved to big São Paulo city. And then I started playing the clubs when I was 14. Because in Brazil, you can, kids cannot work in the night, stuff like that. But I was ready to start playing the clubs 12. But we started with 14 years playing the clubs and Brazilian music. And but back the days, I was to play only some music in Brazil. It's a big, but here outside, nobody knows about that kind of music I was to play, right? So and then I moved to United States on when I was 22 years old, and then I never come back to Brazil because I love it. I love United States. I love the music. I love the way you guys treat the music here is the best, man. It's like I feel very respect when I come to America and I say, they say, what are you doing for a living? I say, I'm a musician, and that everybody respect that. In Brazil, it's kind of different, you know. You kind of, what do you do for a living? Oh, I'm a musician. You work. What do you do?
Wow.
Yeah. So here is the best place. I think I get, you know, United States. I get here in Atlanta, right? I got the best music community here with I make a good friends, the best guys here. Man, I love everybody on the music scene here. It's incredible. You feel, you know, every Sunday night we're going to the gallery here where all the great musicians get together and just play free music, free jazz, you know, and it's kind of good stuff for your soul. You know, you start the week very fresh. You know, that music meeting happen every Sunday after 12 a.m. You know, it's a musician times, right? So 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 we go to 12 to 4 a.m. just music, 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 and music. So here I find a good spot on the music, and is making me growing very very fast on the music, because here I feel like the music in the United States, it's true. I mean, no, I cannot say Brazil is not true. The Brazilian music is the best music, guys. You guys gonna love what you know. We got a lot of different kind of genres in Brazil. We have like a forró, baião, a samba. We got like a Afro music stuff in Brazil. So we got a lot of stuff. But the thing is, when you come out of your country to another country, and then you can kind of see from the where you at, and you look back, you say, "Man, we need to do something to make all this music in Brazil show up for the whole world." Because in Brazil we have a lot of talented musicians. We have the best musicians in the world, I think, in my opinion. But it's kind of we in Brazil don't have the all condition. Like, for example, here we get a good instruments, but in Brazil it's expensive. So the good musicians, they have a like okay instruments. Sometimes they don't have the much money to buy, because it's very very expensive in Brazil. But I'm saying, when you guys realize about Brazil music, like all the genre stuff, you're gonna love it, man. You're gonna love it, because it's like a very different inspiration, right? This guy from North in Brazil, he is considered one of the king of the accordion, right? King of the forró. His name was what his name again? I forgot, but let me try to remember. Luis Gonzaga. Luis Gonzaga. Luis Gonzaga. Okay. He was the best of the accordion in Brazil. Here outside, like I say, nobody knows about that. Wow. But in Brazil, he was very big, and for the accordion instrument, I never see nobody playing like him. So because yeah, man, it's very big in Brazil. We have a lot of different kind of music, but when we get here in the United States, I find like a love, man. It's like all the respect to music stuff. You guys so amazing on that. That's why I stick here forever, man.
Okay. Yeah. Well, Achickwitbeatz, I know you got a question.
Well, yeah. Well, I don't know if it's really a question or more of a statement, but I just find it interesting, kind of hearing about the difference, because I have been living in the U.S. my whole life. So, I feel like you've got a very interesting story to tell, kind of being from Brazil and I guess having found your talent there but having nurtured it here, do you feel like that gives you kind of more of an edge than most people because you kind of get the best of both worlds?
I think it's a lot of. I have a like every day I have friends sending me a message, talking. They I listen your song, and I feel like music changes life, So I feel like every day I get a good new opportunity to be good on the music, let's say like that, on the music or personal, whatever. But it's like every day you have a new opportunity, and that's making me feel good about the music because when I play, I feel the responsibility of the let's say God gave to me this talent, so yeah, he gave it to me because he trusts on me to share the music with other people, and sometimes it's hard to do, but we have to play because it's like let's say it's when in Brazil we're very fan of soccer, right? So so um, so when the team the soccer team getting in the on the to play, everybody they have the shirt like the Brazilian shirt with all the stars and stuff, and and uh, I feel like they have the big responsibility to represent Brazil for the world, right? So when I get my instrument, when I play my instrument, I feel the same. I feel I have a very big nation to represent on the music, right? That's and then whatever artist, any artist or big artist or small, I play with the same vision, like representing my nation, my music. So because that's make it with excellence, make it with I feel like everybody you have to make the best of you on whatever you do. If you do music, your best. So that's the way I feel like when I get songs to record, I need to listen the song and see what's going on. And then when I come to record, it's everything comes from inside. I feel like when I finish record, I have to breathe to let it go, right? So that's the what I feel about music. It's very big, and I'm so happy for being I call I'm an antenna, so I'm I'm a kind of satellite, so I'm so thankful to God give me the opportunity with the talent of music, and I feel like people around me have a lot of when they listen to music. Some people call me, or when I play live, they come to talk to me and give me a hug and say thank you for your music, and this is the best feeling, you make sure you're doing your right thing, so that's amazing.
That's incredible.
Yes, yes. Mm-hmm. It is. It is. It really is. Now, you mentioned that you started out playing drums. You were the youngest person. Everybody else was older, and then you were kind of getting your foot in the door, and so then you moved on and started learning the bass guitar. So, can you share with our listeners your practice routines, because you are an exemplary bassist, and there are not many around like you. So when you were young and first started the bass, can you share with our listeners what it was like with your practice sessions?
The bass get in my life when I was 11, kind of early than that, but I put it like 11 because it's more, believable, right? So let's say, so I start playing bass, but it's not. I start playing bass on the acoustic guitar because I took like the two strings out, so make four strings on the acoustic guitar, and then I start making my bass line on that, following, following. When you play in Brazilian church, it's we have a like to play for everybody in the church. Doesn't matter if they know how to sing or not. You gotta follow, and that was the best school for me. I think was when we gotta play for this kind of the little kids come to sing, and then they don't know how to sing, but we gotta follow them, and it was the best way to learn music, for in my opinion. And then the bass, I started playing, like I follow my friend playing acoustic guitar on the church. So every position on the guitar he go, I follow with the four-string acoustic guitar bass, right? So that was making the, let's say, the sequence of chords or whatever. That was the way for me to learn, And then in Brazil we have in the back the days I take my acoustic guitar for the school, and then the lunchtime, all the kids got together to, hey, can you play that song? And I don't know, but yeah, let's see. And so you start playing by ear. You have to play by ear on the church. You have to play by ear on the school, whatever you go, and then start learning more about acoustic guitar. So the bass was kind of follow the same the same notes. Let's say the same files of if I learn how to play acoustic guitar, I will know the same way I will learn how to play bass. But no, it's not the same way you play on your hands. You have in the instrument, you gotta play in different positions, but on the paper is the same. So I was like, okay, I get that. And I start get videos. Back in the days, we don't have like YouTube stuff like that. So my friends was to have a lot of DVDs. I remember my friend let me use his DVD for a couple months. Was Dennis Chamber, Billy Sheehan the drum, Billy Sheehan bass. Yeah, I think the name of this album was Niancy, something like that. Was John Novello on keyboards. Was like a good start to good stuff to see in Brazil back in the days. It was very new for us. We don't have internet at that time, right? So I guess stick with that. Start see how they play, and every day listen that, and then sometimes I change for listening guitar plays like a Joe Satriani, all that kind of music, melody stuff he do. I was growing up with that, listen how Americans play music. And I remember that was a song by by Eric Johnson, Manhattan. I listened to that song two times, like a long time, more than 100 times, I think. Right? And then when I get in the United States, I met this bass player called Kevin Scott. He's an incredible bass player, and was his first time here in Atlanta. He just moved from, I think it was from Las Vegas. I don't remember his city, but California, I think. And then he moved to Atlanta, and I was just 1 week here, back to 2005. And I met him on the restaurant playing, and I say, "Hey, I'm a musician too." And my friend was translate for me because it was crazy time. and then he let me play one song with him. What kind of song we play? Say, you play Manhattan from Eric Johnson here. Oh yeah, let's play that. And then I play drums, he played the bass, and that was the best feeling because it was my first time playing with an American musician, right? And so after 10 years, more than that, I think after 12 years, I never saw him after that. So after 12 years, I saw him here in Atlanta playing with John McCauley. Man, he was a bass player of John McCauley. And I think it was Dennis Chambers on the drums. And I come to talk to him and say, "Hey, you remember me?" And then he's like, "Oh my God!" Oh, and that was very good. Like, we got a good time, and I feel like after I met this guy, my bass line changed everything because I play with this guy. I play drums and he played bass, and was the best time for me. The way he see the bass or the music was total different of my vision, and so I got very inspired on this guy.
Wow.
And Victor Uten come to Atlanta to make to do the workshop and show all this stuff after. And I went to the Victor Uten workshop. I remember it was for 5 hours only talking. And I remember my English was just understandable, but I remember he was telling a lot of things on the music about, like, for example, if you have to get comfortable, whatever you do, you have to be comfortable. If you on the solo, and if you go half step and you feel your wrong note, don't feel shame, don't be scared, keep doing whatever you're doing, because halfway after that you're gonna be on the right note. Right?
Yes, yes. Well, can you share with our listeners about your latest music and a little bit about where it can be found, and because we want all listeners to search and purchase your music. So real quickly, as we get ready to close the show, can you tell us about that?
Yeah. I got some tracks, instrumental music on Spotify, and I got on YouTube a lot of tracks. Some tracks are released only on YouTube, and some tracks are released only on Spotify. But it's I'm working in a lot of projects now. I'm about to start recording bass and drums for this artist, very amazing. Her name is Gelisha Anderson, and I think she's from New Orleans, and her music is very good, and I'm so excited to start to record for her. And we have on my side, I have some tracks on internet, instrumental, and I try to mix some music from Brazil with samba and forró, and sometimes I put some rock. It depends, and put some jazz stuff. So I got this on Spotify, and I have more stuff coming on my new website, because I'm building website only for my stuffs, because I want to introduce for the whole world everything we have, on so you can get on the website. I think it's gonna be chocolaterecord.net. And it's gonna be everything there about my information, schedule, music, record sessions, we have a good time here in Atlanta with with musicians, and I'm gonna share some stuff on the website about that too. So pretty much it's gonna be the my music life is gonna be on the website, and all this music I'm talking about is gonna be provided for in this website, chocolaterecords.net. And
Okay.
yeah.
Phenomenal.
Well, can you promise this, that you come back and you share some more of Chocolate Costa with us on an interview or 2 or 3?
Sure, I'm ready. I'm ready. Yeah. The next time I will try to get an instrument to play with you guys here, right?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I will try to set up.
Okay, well, what we're gonna do is we're gonna stay in touch with you, and we're gonna set that up, and according to your schedule, our schedule, and we'll make that happen. But we're overjoyed that you took time out of your busy schedule to be with us and be with our podcast listeners. So, one last thing, if you have anything positive to say to our listeners, real quickly, what would you say?
Music. Just listen music, be on music all the time. If you feel like, if you wake up with music, if you're going to sleep, put some music to sleep, and listen. Thank you for the listen, people, because without you guys, we can't play, but no, doesn't matter. But you guys listen music and make me do whatever I'm doing. I will do. If I will do. I'll play music. I plan to play music until my last day, or in the hurt. So you guys listen music. Appreciate that, and keep listening music, supporting musicians and artists, and appreciate for listening our interview here too.
Okay. We'll stay in touch with you. We'd like to thank you. And last words, Achickwitbeatz?
Just thank you for taking the time out to talk with us, and I'm already excited for the next time you come back so we can do this again.
Thank you guys. Thank you for the invitation, and I'm so excited for come back.
Okay, and we'll get with you and make that happen. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, you've been listening to the voice of Chocolate Costa, just a very accomplished musician coming out of Brazil and around the entire world. And so we want to thank him and thank you for listening in to our show today.
All right, and that does it for this week's edition of Music Marvels with Achickwitbeatz and Breezy Gipson. Once again, we thank you for joining us. We thank our home stations, Grander Radio out of Grand Rapids, Michigan, and Sparks Radio out of Denver, Colorado. And I mean, it's just been a blast. I love doing this. We have some of the best people on the show. I mean, I feel honored to have this caliber of people that we have coming in and out, on a weekly basis.
Yeah, no place but here. Yep, no place but here. There you go.
All right, so till next time, you know where to find us. Tune in, tell a friend, and we'll see you then. Peace.